Hello and good evening, our beloved viewers. It's 9 p.m. You are watching on live RTD channel. Welcome to this English news edition. Here are the major stories. Meeting of President Anglais and the Ethiopian Prime Minister in the margins of the summit. In Europe, the Sierra storms continue to blow over the Western Europe. Those were the headlines. Thanks for joining us in our newsroom. On the sidelines of the 33 summit, the President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh, held talks with the Ethiopian Prime Minister, Dr. Abiy Ahmed. During the meeting, the two sides discussed the aspects of a fruitful relation and cooperation between the two countries and ways and means to enhance this relationship to the border and wider horizons. This meeting was attended by the President of the Foreign Affairs and International Corporation, the governors and the spokesman, Mr. Mohammed Ali Yusuf, and the ambassador of Djibouti in Ethiopia. In the United States, Mr. Mohammed Ziad, and the ambassador of Djibouti accredited in Ethiopia, Mr. Mohammed Idris Farah. In an interview with him on the international television, the ambassador of Djibouti to Ethiopia, Mr. Mohammed Idris Farah, pointed out the importance of the meeting and talks that took place between His Excellency, the President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh, and the Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed. And he said the two friendly countries and the ways to enhance and develop this cooperation to border and wider horizon. He said also, we also know that there are common interests between the two countries in the file, whether in the economic and commercial files and in others file. Also, there are historical relations that have continued for decades. He added that the two leaders discussed ways to advance trade between Djibouti and Ethiopia. It is worth nothing that a meeting was held in the city of Ethiopia, in which the Minister of Interior Mohammed Ahmed and participate in the protecting borders of enhancing experience in the file. We should also mention that the delegation from the territory visit this and met the President of the Republic, the high Djiboutian authorities. The ceremony for the awards of UNESCO Equatorial Guinea International Prize for researchers in the science to the three laureates of 2019 edition was held today in the early afternoon on the sidelines of the 33 summits of the head of state and the African Union. These prizes, which is intended to reward projects and activities of individuals, institutions, other entities or non-governmental organizations in aspect and support of life science researches that contributes to improving the quality of life of human beings. Among the laureates was Mr. Cato Lawrencing and American biomedical engineers and orthopedic surgeons. He headed the Connections and Conversions Institute for translations of the regenerative engineering. He also outstanding the contribution to the advancement of science are recognized worldwide with the professors, Mr. Kevin on the Royal College of Ireland being recognized for his researches into the development and implementation of a solar waters technology, a technique that combats waterborne disease suffered by people without access to drinking water, particularly in Africa and Asia. And Professor Mr. Yu, Chinese academic on medical science, winner of Nobel's prizes for medicine 2015, who was compensated for his work on the parasitic disease that discovered an entirely knew the treatment which made it possible to treat thousands of patients in China in the 1980. It should be recalled that the prize was established in UNESCO Executive Board that contribute to the achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals set out in the Development of Agenda 2030 and support of UNESCO global priorities as set in the medium's intern strategies on 2014-2021. In an interview, the ambassadors of Djibouti accredited to Ethiopia recalled today's awarding of 5 sessions of Equatorial Guinean prizes for researches in the life science and said, as you have seen, there were 3 recipients today who received UNESCO Grand Prizes. It is the only African prizes, the only one. I insist. The show, he said, it shows that more and more African are beginning to be visionaries in the fields of science. So you have also noticed that those who have received the prizes come from different countries. You have had a Chinese, you have had also someone from Ireland, and you have a North American, he said. Yesterday, the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Mahmoud Ali Yusuf, held talks with the Canadian Minister of Family, Child Affairs and Development, Mr. Ahmed Hussein. During the meeting, the two parties discussed a number of files of a common concern, especially the two countries' relation and ways and means to enhance the relationship to borders and the waters horizons of. It should be noted that the two countries have a common historical and social relation, including the cooperation in multilateral forums such as the Francophonies. Mr. Mohammed Idris Farah, ambassador for Republic of Djibouti in Ethiopia, and his delegations of the African Union during an interview with him on the national television explained the importance of a meeting with the President of the Djiboutian Diplomacy and Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Mr. Mohammed Ali Yusuf, and Canadian Minister of Family, Child and Development. During the meeting, the two ministers touched a bilateral relation existing cooperation between the two friendly countries and ways to move them forward. He explained that Canada is an important country for the Republic of Djibouti because it is one of the francophone countries and is a key partner of Djibouti. The ambassador of Djibouti in Ethiopia also noted that the talks also include on the geostrategy situation and economic development between the two countries. The Minister of National Education and Vocational Training, Mr. Mustafa Mohamed Mohamud, this morning inaugurated the Federal Centers for Vocational Training in the file of transportation and logistics in the municipality of Belbela. The opening ceremony of the aforementioned centers was attended by the Minister of Labor, Mr. Uthman Ibrahim Roble, the Minister of Budget Abdul Karim Aden Sher, in addition to the United States, the Ambassador to Djibouti, Mr. Larry Andrew, the representative of the World Food Program in Djibouti, and the President of Djiboutian Chambers of Commerce, Mr. Yusuf Musa Dawali. During this occasion, officials of the Ministry of National Education removed the curtains of the opening plates of this center, and after that the director of a center and the personnel from the Ministry of National Education and Vocational Training made an inspection tour inside this center in order to stand closely on the department and facilities of this center. They also received instructions related to his duties and the service he provides for the benefit of young citizens. In his intervention on this occasion, the Minister of Labor in charge of administrative reform, Mr. Usman Ibrahim Roble, pointed out the importance of launching the federal centers for vocational training on the file of transport and logistics. The minister also noted that this center will enhance the capability of its beneficiaries in the file of transportation and logistics. He praised the important step taken by the Minister of National Education and Vocational Training, adding that it is a qualitative shift in the ministry's activities and the notable work. Djibouti is moving toward 100% green energy by 2030. Indeed, with the geothermal energy and solar energy being explored, Djibouti has just launched the production of wind energy. The agreement for the construction of the first wind power plant was signed this afternoon at the Campeski between Djibouti and the financing companies. The president of the port and free zones authorities, Abu Bakr Umar Hadi, initial the unstale the official document with the three financing companies, namely Africa Finance Corporative, Climate Fund Manager, and Dutch Bank for Entrepreneurial Development. The construction of the wind power plant will start in February 2020 and will last 18 months. The electricity productions by this power station will see the light of day in June 2021, according to the president of the Port and Free Zones Authority. The Republic of Djibouti will hold 20% of profits of power stations, according to the president of the Port and Free Zones Authorities, Abu Bakr Umar Hadi. Now, moving on, still on national news, in close cooperation with the United Nations Population Fund, UNFPA, the Parliamentary Group on Population and Development held a consultative workshop on population and development issues from yesterday, Sunday, to the 10th days of February in the Tajora region. The activities of consultative workshop on population and development took place in the presence of the governors of Tajora, the president of the regional council, local officials and elected officials and employees of decentralization. During this workshop, the commitment made during the International Conference of Population and Development were present by the head of 179 countries that were discussed by the participants. This occasion also constitutes an opportunity to highlight the main rules of this group, whose main stocks in to seek the welfare of citizens in all national territories. The mission of these parliamentary groups is also to encourage institutions to implement the ICPD program to promote cooperation between parliamentarians in the areas of population, health, human rights, and development to confront the challenges in the field of population and development, and to further promote the integration of population and development issues into the legislative process of parliament. Within the framework of the National Weeks for Combating Cervical Cancer, the activities of a comprehensive examination campaign for cervical cancer were held in Nasib district of the municipality of Balbala. It is conducting comprehensive screening campaigns on cervical cancer, Hussein reproductive health, Al Husseiniya, in cooperation with the women's neighborhood health committees, with educate their colleagues for free and voluntary screening. It is worth note that social participation of its utmost importance of the success of this campaign, which calls on Djiboutian women to test. Today, at the Artillery Battalion headquarters, the Army Forces organize an open day for students and allies private schools. The schools of as part of the policy to bring citizens and army forces closer. The number of students who visit the campaign reach about 65 students from the grade of three primary school. The students were warmly received by Colonel Mohammed Hersi, head of artillery battalion, along with many officials. So this was the national anthem was played. After that, the Legion commander gave a guide tour to them. This tour started with an introduction to the battalion, is swimming pool, where on a 25 meters of freestyles race was organized. Then all the school children and coaches attend the volleyball final schools purpose revive this final with the vibrant spirits and exemplary disciplines. At the end of the match, two scholar children were chosen to present caps to the winning team. This day aims to acquaint students with the enormous tasks that the Djiboutian army forces carry out, in addition to the cultivating citizenship and patriotism among students. In the context of fighting misdemeanors in the forms of national gendarmeries dispatch in Sheikh Moussa neighborhood carry out a large-scale operation to reduce robbery and extortions by army robbery. During this process, two members of a criminal association were arrested in possession of 25 mobile phones and a computer. Those involved in this process will be brought to the justice to take legal action against them in accordance with the laws in forces in the country. As part of the school sport promotion, the regional office of the Ministry of Education and Vocational Training launched last Saturday in various school sports in the Dakhel region, and this combined preschools into the activities of the opening of these sporting activities that bring together the various educational institutions in the region of Dakhel. In the presence of the prefect of Dakhel region, Mr. Aden Darar Musa, the head of a local council, enter Mr. Abdul Rahman Yunis Are, in addition, the representative from schools of sport in the primary engine to know the progress in the sport file, and perhaps it is one of the most important pillars of the sports movement. This school sport is direct mainly towards school and high school students as it works to put the first step for the child on the path that enables him to become prominent athletes in the future that may contribute to building school team, national and representation of his country in international and continental forum. In view of the important position and the recognized educational dimension of school sport, the Ministry of National Education and Vocational Training seeks to upgrade all levels and harness all the conditions and means necessary to expand sports practice among students. It should be noted that sporting activities is an educational activity that works to raise young people a balance and integrate education in the emotional, social, physical, and mental aspect through various sport programs and activities under the supervision of a specialized leadership that works to achieve the goals of sport activities in order to achieve the regional goals of physical education in the stage of educational, general, and technical education. Moving on now to the international level. In the aftermath of a tragedy, Thailand pays tribute to the victims of a shopping mall's massacre. The murder of killed 29 people before being shot dead. Let's listen for more details.
Storm Sierra hit northwestern Europe on Sunday, particularly Great Britain, France, Luxembourg, Germany, and Belgium. In the aftermath of the massacre in shopping center in northwestern Thailand, hundreds of people gathered to pay tribute to the victims. Wreaths were laid in memory of the 29 people murdered by a young non-commissioned officer who had stolen a weapon from the military base where he was stationed. The tragedy lasted 17 hours and the killer posted several messages on social networks before elite troops shot him dead at dawn on Sunday morning. Facebook says it has closed the shooter's account and is working to delete all content related to the attack that it had time to post.
As storms Sierra hits northwest Europe on Sunday, particularly Great Britain, France, and Luxembourg. For more details in this report.
Storm Sierra hit northwestern Europe on Sunday, particularly Great Britain, France, Luxembourg, Germany, and Belgium, interrupting air and sea transport and raising fears of damage, flooding, and power cuts. On Sunday, February 9, Storm Sierra blew over northwestern Europe and distributed flights, ferries, and sport competitions. In the United Kingdom, the country most affected by this winter storm, the storm brought heavy rain and gusts of more than 130 kilometers per hour. The UK Met Office said it expected damage to homes with the possibility of power cuts and flooding and warned of the danger of wind-blown debris.
This is it for this edition. Thanks for watching and have a wonderful evening.